I will never, ever, like that's all I kept saying in my head. Why are you awake? Why are you not tired? Why are you smiling? Why are you laughing? Why are you dancing? Why are you happy? I asked you that question because like you're the first person with dark skin, like you're the first black person that I'm able to touch like that. So thank you so much for the experience. I was like, yeah, I was just like, God, I've not washed my legs in 3 days. Don't be deceived by this fine face. So thank God you don't look like what we go through. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tommy. Thank you so much for clicking to watch this video. Wow, it's been a while since I made a sit down video, you guys. Like so much has happened since the last time I made one. I actually had like some content filmed on my memory card and my memory card ended up crashing, so I lost all my content and I didn't have everything backed up. So yeah, a few vlogs. I was supposed to have like my birthday weekend vlog up and my Jeju Island vlog up, but they got lost in my memory card. So this is me just trying to push past it and make new content. But I recently like hit my 1 year mark of living in Korea, which is insane. Like it's actually crazy. I can't believe it's been a year. So this video is more like a reflection type of video. I have notes like in my journal, so I think I'm going to like my style of this video is basically like I choose like the big lesson I learned each month and I'll share it with you guys, whether it's with regards to people or like being comfortable being alone and things like that. So if you're interested in hearing, you know, the reality of living abroad alone or like moving abroad alone and everything I've learned so far, then keep on watching. Make sure to grab your drink because this is going to be a lot of talking. I don't have just water today. I have some iced tea, which is, you know, nice for a change. So without further ado, let's get right on into the video. I love the color of these locks, by the way. It's so like my vibe. Okay, I also pushed myself to let my hair down because my hair is always up and I'm like, no, let me leave it down for this video. Okay, let's go all the way back to August of 2022. So mid-August, August 17th 2022 was when I took the flight from YYZ, which was the airport in Toronto, all the way to ICN, Incheon Airport in Korea. Yeah, so that was when I had to like say goodbye to my family, my friends. I miss all of you guys so much, by the way. I know you guys are watching this video. Like I can't wait till I can see you guys again. There's like so much gist for me to give you guys and just so much has happened, you know. Like obviously we talk from time to time, but to be nice to just sit down and have that face-to-face interaction. I love you guys. Like I miss my support system. I love you guys so much. Yeah, that was also when I moved into my apartment alone. So that was the orientation and then I moved into my apartment alone. So since it was just half of the month, I don't have too much to say on that other than like meeting people from different places like during the orientation and just like making connections and, you know, beginning of my honeymoon phase, I guess. Like, oh, I'm in a new country, you know, being all excited and all that. And that was also when I had my first day of school because I wrote the exact date. August 29th was my first day of school and it just felt like I was thrown into the deep end. Whew. Yeah, I felt like I was thrown into the deep end and I had to survive, but of course it made me like a more confident person or like a more confident teacher because I genuinely was like a bit stressed out. I felt like I told somebody I don't know how to swim and they just threw me into the pool and were like, okay, just swim. Not even pool, ocean. That's actually how it felt that first week. But you know, as time went by, I found like resources and stuff, so definitely not stressed out anymore with regards to teaching. But that's all I have to say for August. Let's move on to September. I think for September, all I can say is I was so in my honeymoon phase. Like every weekend I was going to a new part of the country. I remember one of my friends sent me this reel on Instagram. She sent me like this staircase place in Pohang. It's like one tourist attraction. I just saved it and like went the next weekend. But I was also I never talk about this part of my life on YouTube ever. Like I've never talked about it. But I was also talking to someone at the time that had a car. So that made it easier, if I'm being honest. Like I'll just be like, oh, can we go here? Yeah. And then we'll go. I was really like milking my honeymoon phase. I'm so happy I milked my honeymoon phase. The only thing I'll say like, oh, I wish I did during my honeymoon phase that I didn't do was wear a hanbok. I'm still yet to do that. It's like a traditional Korean outfits thing. So I'm still yet to do that, but I'm planning on doing that this fall. Yeah, that's like the only regret I'll say I'll have like for my honeymoon phase. But yeah, it was just like traveling, going out, eating new foods, you know. Oh my gosh, Korean food is so delicious. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Like just being like in awe about everything. Sorry, I'm looking at my journal. Oh, but that was also so when you come as a teacher, you have to get like your registration card, but it's not something you get immediately. Like it takes some time, and like it takes like a while, so you can't do things without the registration card because you have to get that registration card before you can open your bank account. So September was honeymoon phase plus adjustments plus like getting my registration card, you know, opening my bank account, like all those initial things. Like before I got the card, it was a bit rough. Like, if I'm being honest, because you know, restricted and stuff like that, and because I live in a rural area, I can't use like an international credit card to buy like a ticket for the bus. I've seen in bigger cities like you can use like a Visa or MasterCard there, but that was not my situation. And I even had to go somewhere. Oh my gosh, you guys, this was also when I left my wallet. I left my card holder on the bus by accident, but shout out to that guy that I was talking to. He helped me like figure it out because he ended up in another city, which was city I went to. But I got the wallet back. You guys, bruh, imagine being new in a country, you don't speak the language, and you left something on the bus that is like a necessity, not something small, not something that is just a want, a necessity. So for like that day I was a bit stressed out, but like I just told him, I was like, oh, can you help me with this? He like called them, he went there, figured out everything. I was like, thank you, angel sent from heaven above. That was nice. Okay, let's move on to October. I was still honeymoon phasing, but the main thing that I have in my journal is kind of personal, but the main thing I have in my journal that like happened in October / that I learned in October, I just like, you know, when you realize like somebody doesn't really care about you, and it's like I don't have high expectations for people. Somebody told me recently that I expect everybody to be a decent person, and I need to stop expecting everybody to be a decent person. And like maybe that's something I need to work on, because I actually do give people benefit of the doubt. But like, you know, the guy I was talking to, I just mentioned, somebody that I kind of gave the benefit of the doubt to like have my back in a certain situation, didn't have my back, and they cared more about the person I was talking to than me, which like me and that person like most definitely don't talk anymore, left in 2022. But yeah, and I was more upset because it affected my ability to go to, so in Seoul they have an African festival every year, and because that person did not come through for me, I couldn't go to the festival because I had to rely on the person. It was a complicated issue, but basically like I guess the summary is that like I just needed the person to come through for one thing, just for one thing. Every other thing I was like putting in a lot of effort, and just for one thing I needed that person to come through for me. They didn't come through for me. I was so mad because I was like, this is a character flaw. You care more about the guy I'm talking to than me. So yeah, I dropped them, and even the guy I was talking to ended up dropping him, but that was in November, so dropped both of them. But yeah, that happened, and I was really upset because I was like, I really wanted to go to the African festival. I wanted to go and eat. I wanted to go and dance, even though I'm not even a good dancer like that. But I just wanted to be surrounded by like culture. I was like, oh, maybe I'll meet other Black people like from different parts of the African continent that I can be friends with, or just open-minded people. Because if you're going to an African festival and you're not from the continent, then you're definitely open-minded. So I just wanted to like meet different people, right? And that stopped me, and yeah, I was kind of upset about it. That was like the main thing that happened in October. I also went to one place in Korea and I tried this dish. It's called jimdak. I think I said it right, but it's like a steamed chicken dish. I ate it in like the part of Korea where it originates from, and like my life changed forever. I'm such a foodie, but that dish is like something I'll never forget. That whole trip was so precious. I never posted it on YouTube, but it was really such a precious experience. And I was thinking, should I go back there? But I'm also like, I'm one of those people that's like, when I have a really good experience with something, I just like to leave it as that precious experience and do other things like when I have another opportunity. You know what I mean? Let's move on to November. Okay, so in November, I got the opportunity to go to a Korean wedding, which was really cool. I'm very happy I said yes because I was somewhat debating it, but I didn't go by myself. And yeah, it was a cool experience. It's like, when else will I actually get the opportunity? I have no idea. You know what I mean? So I'm very glad that I went to that. This was the month where I posted my first my first food video on TikTok. I'll elaborate more on why I had to mention that now. I hope you guys are not staring at my beautiful face too much. Actually, you know what? If that's the only reason you're here, just to look at my face, just look at my face and make sure you subscribe as you're looking at my face. So because this is gonna be a regular occurrence. It's only because my memory card crashed. That's why you've not seen me in almost 2 months. Okay, but that's going to change. Okay, December. I feel like for December, it was just a pretty chill month. Not much happened, not much traveling happened. Did I even go anywhere in December? Barely. Actual weekend trips, I barely went anywhere. Yeah, not much happened in December. But shout out to this girl, she has left Korea. Shout out to Arwa for actually making me feel good on Christmas Day, because on Christmas Day I had so many mixed feelings, because it was my first Christmas Day being away from my family and stuff. So I just had a lot of mixed feelings, and she was like, oh, let's go to a cafe, and she actually, yeah, because she obviously she gets it as somebody that also lived abroad alone. So I'm very grateful to her for that. I'll never forget that. I don't know if you're watching this, honestly, but shout out to you. I actually really appreciated that. I really did. This was also when I went to... November was when I first went to a church in Korea. But I wasn't super consistent. Just been trying to be consistent again. You know, it's just hard to find a church that just fits, I'm sure any believers watching this video will agree, church shopping, you really have to find one that resonates with you. And with language barrier being a factor, it makes it even harder, because finding churches that have English when you don't live in Seoul or Busan, one of the major cities, is even harder. So yeah, there was that. Okay, I think that was it for 2022. Now let's go on to January 2023. Okay, so I mentioned in August I moved abroad alone. By the way, moving abroad and traveling, they are not the same thing. I saw one girl on TikTok. She said, my first solo trip was when I moved to Canada at 16 for school. Moving for school is not a trip. It is moving, relocating. You're removing your life from one place and going to plant it in another country. How is that traveling? Traveling is not please, that's not traveling, that's moving. No, traveling is more short term and all that. But anyways, none of my business. I just wanted to make that clear. So in January 2023, this was my first international trip out of as an adult. Yeah, my first international trip as an adult. I went to Jamaica in May of 2022, but I went with my sister, so it was for her birthday. So obviously she was the one that planned it. I just tagged along. But this was the first trip I actually planned and went on. And yeah, it was very trial and error, I would say. I learned so much from that trip, and I shared some of them in my video, with the lessons and stuff. I'll put it on the screen if you didn't see it yet. But yeah, that was nice. I went to the Philippines, I went to Vietnam. I got sick on that trip, which I was really upset about. But honestly, compared to other things that I went through this year, that was actually minuscule. Compared to the other things I've been through this year, I'm that one was even small. That was just a little introduction. Oh yeah, in Korea, they also have a tradition where they see the first sunset of the year. I participated in that as well this year. That was nice. I can't believe it's September now. I still remember that day, January 1st. And now today is September something. The way time just flies. I can't wrap my head around it, but I have to, because I have to get on with it. Time actually just goes by so fast. But yeah, January, main thing was the trip. And then in February, my main thing for February was the Daniel fast. So I had this like tug on my heart for a while to like do the Daniel fast. I was talking to one of my friends, Tony. Shout out to Tony. You're probably watching this now. Hi. Yeah, me and Tony like talked about it before, and she also said she wanted to do it. And like that was like back when I was in Canada, right? And then after I moved to Korea, maybe like in December or November, like the Holy Spirit was like, do this fast now, do this Daniel fast. I was not, you know when like the Holy Spirit or Jesus or God, they're like trying to tell you to do something and you're just not listening. It was one of those. I was just like, and then in Feb, because I had my vacation split, I had a couple weeks in January, a couple weeks in Feb. So I was like, okay, this is my opportunity, because during normal school they give like I eat like this school lunch, but during vacation there's no school lunch. So I'm like, okay, there's no excuse now, you have to do this fast. Like if you really want to do it, like now is the time. So I did a 21-day Daniel fast. It was actually life-changing. I got so many revelations during that fast, and like honestly I feel like this year has just been very spiritually like eye-opening for me. Like I feel like I've gotten so awakened spiritually because I decided to make my experience in care about God, because I can't make it about friends and people. Like, do you know the the kinds of people I've met? Like, not gonna lie, like you can't really just be depending on people like that, except you're down to be getting disappointed every day. But yeah, that was what I did. Daniel fast was the summary of my Feb, and I feel like the food aspect, it was so imperfect, but it's really not about like the food. I feel like a lot of people focus so much on the food, which like is kind of natural, but yeah, I was focusing on the food to prior, and then the day before, it's as if I just got like a knock on my head from the Holy Spirit being like, why are you focusing on the food? And I was like, it's true, it's not about the food, like it's about the revelations, just because, oh yeah, technically I even restricted myself a bit, because I was like, it's not about enjoyment, it's really not. People are already planning out breakfast, lunch and dinner, making their food look bougie, like it's oh my gosh, just poked my eyeball. Oh my god. Okay, let's move on to March. I feel like February was like one of my best months, to be honest. Like that's the only month where I was not like crying. This year, the way I've cried, I don't cry. Oh yeah, I was also going to say, like, prior to the Daniel fast, I was kind of like casual faith-wise, because I was just traveling a lot, because I mentioned being in my honeymoon phase earlier. Do you want to go here? Yes. Do you want to go here? Yeah. Just saying yes and just hopping around, doing everything. And then I like got more, calm. Like after my honeymoon phase passed, I was like, okay, let's get serious. Let's go back to our creator. Yeah, this was also when I filmed my apartment tour for YouTube, and it also got a lot of views. So shout out to all of you that watched it. Yeah, I'm grateful. Like I noticed, when my videos are like doing well and stuff like that, because it's like a growth thing for me and something I used to remind myself, like, okay, keep going, or like, remind myself why I started and stuff. So yeah, thank you guys that have been following me on this journey so far. Let's go on to March. March was a really good month. My highlight of March was my first solo trips in KR. So all the places I went to in KR prior to March, they actually were not solo. So in March, I went to Daegu and I went to Seoul. Both were solo. And I had a really good time, especially in Seoul. It's not even because it was Seoul, but everything just went according to plan. Like, one of those very just like smooth experiences where you don't stress too much. Like, it was really, really nice. Daegu was good too, except like when it was time to get home, like get back home and get on the bus. I don't know, some weird situation happened. I ended up having an emotional breakdown, but story for another day. But the actual content of the Daegu trip was so good. I really enjoyed both of those trips, and yeah, I was proud of myself because I kept saying, okay, I need to travel. And I guess maybe the weather getting better was part of what pushed me to go. But yeah, it was really nice. Like doing stuff by yourself can feel like really empowering. like for me as a young woman, like being able to be independent and like do things by yourself, especially knowing like women haven't had rights for so long, it just makes me feel very empowered and just like badass. I'm like, I can do anything. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Oh yeah, when I was in Seoul, I went to a Nigerian restaurant and I filmed like myself, eating there because I make food content on TikTok. If you haven't seen my TikTok, the link is in my description box. Yeah, and it actually somewhat blew up. It has like 70k views now, and I'm just like, wow, like I never expected that just me going to eat Nigerian food in Seoul would attract like eyes. Like, you just don't know when things like would blow up. Also another reason for me to like keep going and not give up and not stress too much and literally just focus on God and try your best, and like the rest to fall into place. But yeah, that happened and it really like pushed me to do more like food stuff. And also in general, I forgot to mention, in January after my trip, I just felt like a deeper like connection to food. Honestly, since being abroad, I'll say 2023 mostly, like I've just felt like a very deep connection to food. And I've always been a foodie, forever, 5 ever, 10 ever. Like everybody will tell you Tommy and food are like this, or even cousins I haven't seen in years that may not even like know certain things about me now. They know that the one thing about me that has not changed and will not change is my foodiness. I've always been a foodie, but now I'm just like, like I just see like how cultures are just like connected to each other, and like how human beings, like at the end of the day, we're just like the same. Like a lot of spices are similar, a lot of dishes are just like it just shows like the togetherness in people and humanity. I don't know how to explain it. And also just like making something out of nothing, and like how in like war or during times of like strife and poverty, when people didn't have much, they were still able to like bring together like what they had and make like a delicious meal out of it that we can all enjoy now. And like I don't know, my connection with food, it has just gone so deep, and I'm just so passionate about food now, and I just want to keep doing more of it as I can. I tried my hand on different cuisines this year, like, and I'm really proud of myself. I really am. Like my friends are always like, whenever they see pictures of my food, like they're always hyping me up, and in my head I'm just like, I just put stuff together, like I didn't even follow a recipe, and they're like, if I try that, like it won't look as good or it won't taste as good. And I'm just like, okay, I guess I should take more credit for that. But I'm really proud of myself for that. Sorry for the rambling. Oh my gosh, I hope this video is not going to be too long. Oh yeah, time to talk fast. Okay, in March, oh my gosh, I'm still in March. Yeah, I have to talk fast. Okay, so in March I also experienced like 2 people just like being weird. And like I said, I give benefits of doubt a lot, but if I spot that something is a character flaw, that's something I can't deal with. Like circumstances I can deal with, like, I've not talked to somebody in 4 months, 5 months because they are just busy, this and that. Like I'm very understanding of that. But when you start to act funny, and it's very like telling of the kind of person you are, like I just leave it at that. Somebody that literally said to me that they were not going to ghost me ended up ghosting me. Like that person, I thought I had a genuine connection with that person. I'm just like, wow, like isn't being a woman of your word important to you? And there was another girl too that was just acting weird. Like she was just acting weird, and just it's as if she was just trying to show me that she just doesn't like me, and it's personal, but in the most indirect way possible. And I'm like, why can't we just be adults about this? First of all, we don't even have to hang out together if you don't want to. Like you never have to initiate it. Why you now? Like she was just being, it was just too weird for me and made me feel so uncomfortable. And I'm not that kind of person to hang out or try to befriend someone that makes me feel uncomfortable, or like makes it feel as though like they don't like me and it's personal, but yeah, they don't want to say something to me, to my face. If I did something to you that you don't like you should say something to my face instead of making me feel uncomfortable, you know what I mean? So yeah, I left those people, but those situations made me so jaded. Like I got like premium, that my 6-month video where I was talking about people, I thought I was jaded. Then this one made me like premium jaded. And then I ended up hanging out, I guess we can just segue into April now. I ended up hanging out with 2 teachers in April. One of them I went to with Busan. We shout to Pelumi. Hi. We're hanging out again soon. I'm actually excited. And I went to Yosu with another teacher. I remember even telling them, like, I was so jaded when I met them. In my head, I was like, yeah, this is just going to be a one-time interaction. But thankfully, me and Pelumi still talk. Yeah, even the teacher I went to Yosu with, like, here and there, like, we'll text each other. But yeah, in my head, I was just like, I was so jaded at that point. I was just like, bruh. And them, they were actually kind of new then. So I was like, maybe I should not say anything because I don't want to taint your honeymoon phase. Like, I still want you to enjoy your honeymoon phase. But I really, I was so jaded, you guys. Bruh. Okay. Oh, I forgot to mention in March. I almost forgot to mention part of my Seoul trip. I went to the Kimchi Museum in Seoul. And oh my gosh, that museum, I was just in awe. I'm obsessed. I need to go to more food museums. I'm such a foodie. Oh my goodness. That's all I'll say. That museum was I really it was just such an immersive experience. It was so wholesome, you know. Okay, let's go to April. I can't talk too much. So the first weekend of April, I ended up having a bad ankle incident or accident. I had to call the ambulance. Imagine calling the ambulance in a foreign country, and I had a cast on my leg for a week. I didn't even really tell anyone about this because I was just crying. And you know, those are the moments when you being by yourself really hits. It's all fun and games when you're going on these trips, or when I'm going to this nice market to go and eat this one, eat that one. It's all fun and games. But those moments where you really need somebody, it can really suck when you feel like you don't have anyone to turn to. So that was definitely one of my hardest experiences. Yeah, I was just like, God, I've not washed my legs in 3 days. I was so disgusted. I was upset. I was just like, I don't wish this on my worst enemy. Yeah, it was not fun at all. It wasn't fun at all. But I'm so glad it didn't last for longer than that because I ended up meeting a teacher that was on crutches and we bonded over her being on crutches versus me having a cast, and her leg thing actually ended up lasting for so long that she didn't end up staying. She wanted to stay in the country for longer, but she had to leave because she was she needs to put her health first. So also somebody that I was bonding with ended up leaving the country. But yeah, it just made me feel less alone when me and her bonded over it, and it felt genuine. So I was happy about that connection. But yeah, that was hard. Oh, that was actually hard. Yeah, I mentioned Busan and Yosu. Yosu is top tier. I love Busan too. I love both of them. But Yosu vibes impeccable. If you have the opportunity, go there. Especially if you like water views. Love, love, love. Okay, let's go to May. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm running out of time. My main experience from May was that so on Insta Explore page, because I've been traveling more recently, in the past year, I've been seeing a lot of travel content in my Explore page. So I ended up this girl's reel popped up in my Explore page, and then I looked through her page. I eventually followed her because I saw that she was traveling around Asia, Southeast Asia, and then she came from Southeast Asia to East Asia, and then in her bio she would write where she's going, and then I think she was now Japan, next South Korea, and then in her story one day she was asking people suggestions for Korea, and I just messaged her. I was like, oh, I actually live in KR, so if you want to link when you get here, if you're down, just let me know. And we actually ended up linking. So how crazy is that, meeting someone from Explore page and actually linking with them? Isn't that insane? Oh my gosh. And then we hung out the whole day. It was chill, it was nice. I have nothing against her. We still have each other on social media till this day. This is not personal, this has nothing to do with her. And then she said that she was going clubbing at night, and she's like, do you want to come? And I don't usually go clubbing, but I was like, yeah, whatever. I'll do something, I'll do certain things at least once. And she said it was an Afro lounge, an Afro beats club. And I was like, oh my gosh, I've not heard Afro beats in ages in this country. So I was like, I'm down. And then it ended up turning into a clubbing overnight situation. You guys, I was like, I will never, ever, 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 that's all I kept saying in my head. I was like, I will never do this to myself again. How can I be up? overnight, like I saw the sunrise. I was like, why am I up at sunrise when it's not to read my Bible? Like, that's how angry I got internally. Again, it has nothing to do with her because I agreed to do this. I was just upset. I was on edge. Like, I feel like clubbing can be fun sometimes, but once you reach that point where it's like you're tired or you need to go home, if you don't honor that feeling, you will hate yourself and you regret it. And that's exactly how I felt. And at some point, I just told her, I was like, if I don't leave this club now, I'm going to have a mental and emotional breakdown. I don't think she heard me clearly because, of course, it was loud. And I was like, I'm going to sit in the train station and wait for the first train at 5 or 6 a.m. And that's what I did because I was just on edge. In my head, I was like, what are these people doing up at this time? Why are you awake? Why are you not tired? Why are you smiling? Why are you laughing? Why are you dancing? Why are you happy? Like, I was just like, what in the world is all this craziness? And I was like, I will never, ever do this to myself again. So that was my main learning experience from me. Let's go to June. Okay, so for June, my main experience was going to Jeju Island by myself. So I went solo. We had a long weekend, a 4-day weekend. So I went to Jeju by myself. Honestly, the island was so stunning. Like, I understand why everybody is like, was making so much noise about it. Unfortunately, I can't show it because I lost my footage, like I mentioned. But yeah, that was the main thing. But during that trip, the circumstances like frustrated my soul. I ended up like weeping at the bus stop, cry, like not like 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 serious tears. I've cried so many serious tears this year, and it's not even like, oh my god, I miss my family or my friends, or like, oh my god, I'm alone. It's like just weird or strange, unique situations that you will never expect and never anticipate for me, that just caught me so off guard, and I felt so blindsided, and just like it felt as if I was getting slapped in my face for trying to like maybe do the right thing or be responsible. And I was just like, why am I being punished for like trying to be a good planner and things like that? That's just how it felt, and I was just really frustrated. But yeah, I mean, I met someone there and she took me nice pictures, and like I was even talking to her recently, so I guess that's a pro. Oh, also I met one guy there, not like romantically or anything. He was like, oh, can I shake your hand because oh, at first I was just like, what's going on? And then I was like, oh, nice to meet you type of thing. And he was like, oh, thank you, like I asked you that question because like you're the first person with dark skin, like you're the first black person that I'm able to touch like that, so thank you so much for the experience. I was like, traveling in Asia is just drama sometimes, but like innocent drama, if that makes sense. I don't know. So in July, I had my birthday in KR. I took myself to Busan. I went for a nice massage, lodged myself in a nice hotel, queen size bed, ate good food, fresh seafood. Oh, so delicious. Yeah, on my birthday, I just like forced myself to be in a good headspace. And yeah, what else did I do? I did not do more. I stayed at home, like literally in June, Jeju Island. After that weekend, stayed at home for all the other weekends. In July, same thing. After my birthday weekend, which was first weekend of July, stayed at home for the rest because I was just like, yeah, I need to balance out like all this spending. And also, yeah, I feel like I just got a bit less ambitious with moving around as time went by, like with traveling and stuff, like in KR. But yeah, in July, I also cried a lot, man, because like I said, just some challenging, strange situations that I did not anticipate, and I was just very, very frustrated. I was just like crying. Like there was even one time in school, I just broke down. Like I was like, I don't care if anybody hears me or sees me. Like I broke down. I was like wailing, like crying. Man, anyways, thank God that time has passed, because honestly I don't even want to think about it. I really don't. August, so I cried a lot too. I don't cry this year. Don't be deceived by this fine face. So thank God you don't look like what we go through. But August, so I cried. Hey, that one was mostly like airport problems, because I traveled internationally in August. I'm like, should I say where I went? But I still have my footage for that one, so I'll post my vlog soon. If you follow my TikTok, you already know where I went to. But yeah, that one too, it's like everything was fine at first, and then on my last day of my trip I ended up vomiting from freaking KFC. And I never vomit, you guys. Like, the only time I've like actually vomited proper in my life was when I was like 6 years old, when I had measles. So almost 2 decades ago. And because I had measles, so almost 2 decades ago was the last time I properly vomited. Like, I've had minor, like, throw up situation, very minor, maybe like 2 times, other than that major one I just mentioned. I don't throw up. That's not how my body reacts. I was weak, I was shaking, and I also went on this trip solo. So in August, I went to my first international solo trip, which was like, I guess, good for self-development and stuff. But yeah, I was shaking, I was weak, my stomach was ruined for like the next week. And I'm a foodie, I travel for food, so I just got obsessed because I could not eat well. Like, oh God, ended up crying too. I was just miserable when that stomach thing happened. I was like, God, this is insane. Oh yeah, my memory card also crashed right before I left, so I had to go and get a new one. Man, just crazy things, man. Yeah, it feel like traumatizing things happen. I will not even lie. I don't even know if I'll like talk about it, but yeah, I guess that's my summary. A lot of lessons, a lot of tears, growth, transient interactions, God moments, just a bunch of different things. And I guess that's what it's all about, right? The highs and the lows, and you just have to like stay committed. It just makes you like more badass, like, you feel like you can actually do anything in life. But yeah, that's everything month by month, because August was marking my 1 year, so, and I'm still in September, so can't say anything about September. But moving forward, my points are, I hope I can meet some decent people, because it would be nice to have like friends. It will actually be nice. Definitely will continue focusing on God 1000%. I'm going to try to inquire about like maybe like groups I can join where I can meet people and stuff, like language exchange, like the real language exchange, not those funny online apps. If you're in Korea, you know what I'm talking about. I want to try and focus more on like cooking content, just like food in general. I feel like last year I did more traveling. This year I'm thinking more food, or maybe I'll still do food and travel. I'll see. Or I might try going to the gym again, because last time I tried, something just that was when the ankle thing happened. And actually I had a membership before that, but I wasn't consistent because I was traveling too much during that time, so it just never worked out. Maybe I'll try it again. I'm also trying to find a balance between staying in my apartment all weekend and going on a weekend trip, because it's either I go on a weekend trip or I stay in my apartment from Friday night till Monday morning, except I go to church on Sundays, which I've started doing more of again recently. I took a break from the church I went to, and apparently there was even some drama there itself. Like, when I just started going back again, I was hearing of things that happened. But story for another day, I beg. It's not every day drama, maybe I'm also thinking maybe I'll go to Seoul a bit more. It's so far though, but solely because of ethnic food, so I can eat more ethnic food and like have more content for TikTok. And yeah, maybe I'll go and see like my family like during the winter or something. I don't know. These are just things I plan to do moving forward. But man, I've talked so much in this video. I hope you guys' ears are still intact. I'm sorry to talk your ears off. I hope you learned things from this video, like life lessons about like independence or trusting people, or I don't know, just I guess maybe what comes with like living abroad. Maybe you were just curious, maybe you're planning on moving abroad like in some time, or you're already living abroad. I hope this helps you to feel like less alone about your whole experience. If you're in Korea, I live in the Gyeongsangnam-do province. If you're looking for friends or people to hang out with, feel free to message me on Instagram, and then we can plan to go somewhere. Like I said, I'm open to like meeting people and stuff. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Yeah, I got a bit personal, but guess it has to happen sometimes. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Stay tuned. More content coming now that I have a new memory card. And yeah, I guess I just want to look up and look forward and just take the lessons from behind and go through them and everything. But I'll see you guys in my next video. Make sure you subscribe. If you got to this point, clearly you're obsessed with my face, just accept it and press the subscribe button now. There's no need to procrastinate, and then you can go and watch all my other content. Okay, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.